My name is Jill Galvez. I moved here in 1992. I had no intention of ever leaving Michigan and moving to California. I had a great career at IBM. I worked hard getting an engineering degree and fought during a recession to earn the right to work at one of the greatest companies in the United States. And I was working and having a great time pretty close to my family when my husband-to-be, my fiance's mother was diagnosed with colon cancer. And my husband's a Mexican immigrant. His parents worked here in the consulate in San Diego. And he went to Hilltop High, he's a graduate of USD, but he was living in Michigan when we met. And so he found out his mom was diagnosed with colon cancer, and he decided to move out here to be with her. And proposed. I moved across the country, left everything behind, 3,500 miles from home. And if any of you have ever left home or gone that far from home, it was heart-wrenching. And it was really tough. I decided to make Chula Vista my home. I fell in love with it the moment we arrived. We lived on J Street with his dying mother and father when we first moved here, until we finally found our permanent roots up at Hilltop and G on the west side. And I've been devoting the last 18 years of our lives in helping to make this community a better place and helping to create and foster an environment where my children don't ever have to move far from home for any purpose. So when I first moved here, there were no jobs in town, and I kind of threw caution to the wind and left IBM and said, hey, I'll just bring it and see what I can do 6 months from now. And 6 months from now, it was 1993, and we were in the throes of a recession here in San Diego County. And for a brief period of time, I found a job selling pharmaceuticals, so I got to know all of the doctors and hospitals in the region from the 8 South. I'd make 10 to 15 appointments a day. I got to know every little street in the county. And then finally, you know, my real job called, AT&T called and said, we've got this job that nobody else wants. Will you sell very expensive services to companies that are downsizing and going through a recession and try to win them back to AT&T? And I said, sure, why not? And so I really wanted the job, and actually I learned to thrive in that job. I went throughout the county of San Diego, discovering businesses that had never done business with AT&T before, recruited them, did business cases, did everything that you do when you present a win-win situation to a client, and I recruited some big customers over to AT&T. But more importantly, I got to know the business climate in San Diego County. And here we were living and loving Chula Vista, loving it, and I realized that all of the major action, all the exciting things going on in high tech, from CDMA technology and wireless to the birth of the internet, you know, really the commercial part of the internet, to all this stuff going on with biotech research, all this was happening, these exciting things were happening north of us. They were happening around UCSD, they were happening in Serrano Valley, and they were happening in Carlsbad, and of course Orange County and then LA area. And I always wondered, why don't we have any businesses down here in Chula Vista? This is the best place on earth. We've got the best climate. We're next to a bayfront. We've got the best people, the best schools here in Chula Vista. Why aren't businesses here? And that's always bothered me. Roar Aircraft was one of my customers before they were purchased by B.F. Goodrich. And so I learned a lot about Roar and a lot about the history of Roar, and it bothered me that we didn't actively try to recruit some business to replace it. It used to be that everyone could count on getting a job at Roar Aircraft, and since then we no longer have a big company in this town. You know, it's just shameful. One of my customers, I was 9 months pregnant, and I walked into IDEC Pharmaceuticals. They're now Biogen IDEC. And the accounting rep said, hey, you've got to see the CFO. He's from Chula Vista. He wants to talk to you. And he, I waddled in, 27 years old, and he said, IDEC Pharmaceuticals wants to locate to the Chula Vista Bayfront and take over some of the road aircraft space. And I said, wow, this is great, because IDEC Pharmaceuticals, their headquarters was in La Jolla. Every car in the parking lot was a Lexus or Mercedes. Everyone had full health insurance. People were paid with stock options. It's just a different type of company and type of employment. And I thought that would just be great in Chula Vista. And so I tried my best to give. I didn't know anything about local government. I found the name of the mayor and her numbers and all the council people, and I passed it back to the CFO, and I did my best and then went on and had a baby. And nothing happened. Our city council, I learned later, a couple years later, that pretty much their appeals for any sort of audience fell on deaf ears. And I thought that was kind of criminal. That our city council at that time just let an opportunity like that pass them by. Now there's a 200-person light manufacturing facility on the Oceanside Bayfront. You drive to the parking lot, it's a beautiful building, everyone has health care insurance, people are employed, folks can live close to their parents, and they're, believe it or not, there are Chula Vistans that are commuting 2.5 hours a day just to work in Oceanside when they could have commuted 5 minutes a day. So that being said, I've been very involved in the schools. I'm still a business professional. I'm the vice president of a telecom company. I try to encourage science and science acquisition of science knowledge and inspiration for our youth. I'm the head coach, 3rd year in a row, of Hilltop Middle Science Olympiad team. We have about anywhere between 30 to 40 students every year learning about astronomy, about anatomy, about physics and electronics. And I'm hoping to help these students realize that there's a bigger world out there and there are more career opportunities out there than just becoming an American Idol or a CSI, which is all they seem to want to do these days. So I don't know how much time you have, but I do my best. I volunteer on the historic home tours. I'm on the Heritage Museum Board. I took some time off from work for about 6 years raising my kids. To volunteer and stay at home with my kids, and I did 10,000 years of Chula Vista history presentations. I've walked my neighborhoods fighting cell towers in residential neighborhoods. I've helped school districts and try to get geographic districting passed and petition 1,500 people. I've done the newsletters for Crossroads 2 with Peter Watry and helped him with that. And I truly and firmly believe that the only way Chula Vista is going to progress and our children are going to have a place to live and work, and our whole economy is going to improve, is if we get on the corporate bandwagon and we try to recruit businesses that are in North County down to Chula Vista. We've had city councils that have been comprised of realtors, educators, police officers. We haven't had any corporate business people on our council. And I'm hoping that you give me that chance, because this is what I love to do. Nobody could sell Chula Vista better than I could, because I love it so much, and that's what I intend to do every moment as your next city council person, is doing nothing but pick up the phone every day, trying to recruit businesses to Chula Vista, using good sound business decisions like not supporting a sales tax increase, like finally getting a sign for our auto park on Main Street, which is the best kept secret in the world, and we've closed our 3rd auto dealership. That should be a source of revenue. We need to reduce our economy's dependence on home building permits. My time's up. Please go to my website. I need all the help I can get. I've walked 33 precincts so far. Little hoarse because I was looking again this morning, but would love your help. I'm in the back of the room. Come see me. Thanks.